Alright, so I'm up a little bit earlier. I didn't upload yesterday. I've been trying to give myself a little bit more time to rest, so just because this grind has been so long-winded, man, I thought Damascus was long. This is absolutely disgusting. I'll be very, very proud of myself in a sense when I'll be done with all this, but man. So going over to the progress or whatever, I'm currently working on the LMGs. I still have one shotgun that I need to do, the R90, but I'm going to end up doing that one once shipment comes back or something. And I started out with the PKM that you guys saw in my last video or whatever. As far as the base weapons go, I only have 3 more LMGs to go, 1 shotgun, and then 7 assault rifles. I know that the game ends up rewarding you based on base weapons usually, so as you can see, I have the Obsidian PKM here now. It's all equipped and everything. I'll go in game and show you guys, but I mean, it's the typical stuff. I mean, Obsidian doesn't ever look any different on any of them or anything like that, so yeah, I mean, it's the typical PKM. You already know how it goes. Giant reload, even with sleight of hand on. It helps, I guess, but not really. Yeah, you got the Obsidian bullets too, or like the Obsidian casing or whatever. It's always cool. That was always the really cool thing that I noticed with some of the Damascus and Obsidian stuff, is that it ends up changing your bullets. Doesn't make them any stronger or anything, but it makes them look cool. All right, so next I'm working on the SA-87. The SA-87 as a weapon is, it's interesting, that's for sure. When was the last time that the SA-87 was buffed? And even after it got buffed, it's still way worse than other guns. It seems like the last SA-87 buff that ended up happening was to the 12.4. This is the one that it lowers your bullet velocity, so I think you lose like 10% damage or something. You also lose recoil control, but they ended up making this one in particular a bit better than it used to be. The recoil used to be a lot worse, now it's a little bit better. So anyway, I was running around with this class setup last night, running around with the monolithic suppressor and the 12.4-inch factory barrel. The SA-87 is basically like a lightweight light machine gun, but like a heavy assault rifle, but heavier than like the AK and Galil and stuff like that. Like this is, it feels like an LMG no matter what you do to it. By no means do I recommend anybody use this gun though, to be honest with you. I mean, unless you're bored or whatever, you know, it's not like you couldn't go and win some Warzone games or whatever with it, or just go and play in multiplayer with it. But if you end up running into good players that are all using M4s and MP5s, you're just gonna get absolutely slaughtered. So since I end up losing a little bit of range with this barrel a little bit, and since the damage is really good, it just, most of the maps and situations you end up getting put in, you're not gonna end up really feeling a lot of these terrible ranges and stuff. What was it? So I didn't get to cover the UFC that happened on Saturday because I wasn't, you know, here on Sunday, but Dustin Poirier ended up being Dan Hooker. It was a really, really good fight. Like a lot of people are saying fight of the year candidate, top 3. It's up there with Joanna versus Wei Lee, or Burgos versus Emmett, I think. Yeah, look at the ADS speed on this. This is still with the fastest. This is with the fastest stuff, except the, you know, monolithic hurts it a little bit. But I know that the gun doesn't have a grip. I usually am running grips and stuff like that. Some sort of, a grip of some kind I would usually try to be running, but this gun doesn't really need it. That was a super good fight. Dustin ended up winning. Dan Hooker is a lot better than I thought he was. Like, his actual striking by itself, I mean, if this dude could actually have kept that up for 5 rounds, that guy is very, very good. This is what we're doing, guys? All right. I've just been playing a lot of hardpoint and cherry-picking lobbies at this point for maps. I'm not doing stir crazy. It sucks. I cannot stand the map rotation. I don't know what it is specifically. It says that it's specifically 6v6 maps, just 10v10, but it never feels like that. Also, Mike Perry. Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall was kind of known as a guy that kind of, people said that he was like kind of like a gimmick fighter. Like the dude only beats up people that are like, you know, inexperienced or cans or all this other stuff. Which it felt really disrespectful to me. You know, he's the guy that ended up fighting, you know, CM Punk and a couple other people and stuff, but his striking is much improved from what it was, and his jiu-jitsu was always dangerous. But the person that really surprised me was Mike Perry himself. I'm a Mike Perry fan, like just the way that the guy carries himself, it's funny. Mike Perry really impressed me. Everyone likes to sit around and talk about Mike Perry. When it actually comes down to the guy's skills, this dude, a lot of people assume that he has no idea what he's doing in the grappling or wrestling department. This dude is good. And given he went against Mickey Gall, nothing, I'm not taking anything away from him. The guy isn't like a, you know, a full-blown, insane, powerful physically strong wrestler or something. Mike Perry was just stronger than him. But the knowledge behind the wrestling, you can still see it all. You can still see all the technique and everything. You see it all. I mean, this guy, he's much better than people give him credit for. I fuck with Platinum. And the biggest thing at the end of this whole thing leading up to this fight, Mike Perry is the only person in the UFC ever. This man didn't bring a team, his coaches, other experienced fighters in his corner or anything. No, he brought his girlfriend. Supports him. She does all this nice stuff for him. And he was explaining how it's almost, it kind of feels like an advantage. It's really nice in a sense to not end up, you know, coming out of a round where you end up getting beat up. You're in the middle of a fight, obviously, right? Punched in the face. The other guy's trying to take your head off. And then you end up going back to your corner. Your coach is in your corner, is yapping, yap. Some people, that just doesn't fly for him. So Mike Perry wasn't liking that. He was saying it was really nice that he had somebody in his corner that was just there to give him the things that, you know, he would want or ask for or whatever. Just give him anything that he needs. Doesn't need to, you know, get any crazy advice. She was there. She's perfect for it. And I'm gonna be honest, before the fight started, I was just like, man, I really don't know how this is gonna go. I really have a bad feeling about this. I really hope he actually trained and all this other stuff. Hope he doesn't take any, like, you know, real damage or whatever. Luckily, you know, this time around, he ended up faring really, really well. He's just icing him up, asking him if he needs more water. Just simple stuff. I mean, the SA-87, I think its popularity is like less than 1%. It's like half of, it's like 0.5% or something like that. I don't know. Nobody uses this gun whatsoever though. Justin and Dan fight was just, they literally just stood in a, they walked forward into each other, and from that first minute, they just, the output for every single round it lasted was just swing. But this dude has truly improved into like full-blown like championship caliber type stuff. Like this dude is easily elite. Some people talk about him getting worked by Khabib and stuff like that. It's like, it's the matchup. And I'm actually really curious how he would do a second time around knowing what he has to deal with this time. He knew what he was getting into before, but I'm really curious what he would do now. So now people are saying that Dustin should fight Tony Ferguson. The lightweight division is just so stacked. And when we get to the event that's going on, what, in July 11th, 14th or 15th, and then the 17th or something like that, there's gonna be like 3 events. Keep it going, come on, where you at? Every single matchup that you can make at lightweight is just so good. Like every single one of those matchups that you could possibly think of after that fight, like all of the implications, and the title is still there, and even if the title isn't there, like all these people are all capable of holding the championship. It all just depends who they fight. Like it is so good. The people that could or had the highest chance of beating Khabib end up losing to other people in the division. Of course, when I go and join my one shipment game, I get the really late game where there's like 50 seconds left and they got like 2 chopper gunners. Woo. Keep it going. I mean, on most of the maps, especially if you're playing game modes like Hardpoint and stuff, and you're not playing on like Ground War or whatever, the range, it's not really a big deal. You got that door, wait. That's a real spawn! I just spawned. Did I just get headshotted by a fucking gas tank? I just got decapitated by something that's used to blow up party balloons. After the SA-87, what do I have? The M91. I've also traded out my kill streaks to the really, really small kill streaks. I figured, hey, I'm gonna use a personal radar. I know it also helps people in a sense with that personal radar. Part of me is doing it for that to kind of help other people out because I know how much of a pain it actually is. And the cluster strike is way, way good for how many kills. I end up racking up so many extra kills just because of that airstrike. Dude,
how many times?
You only have to hit me with like 2 bullets. You're using an MP5, remember? At the fastest time to kill in the game. I don't know how you can sit there and ask questions about it.
The Odin?
Hello. Guy thinks I'm shooting him with the Odin. It's an SA-87. Meanwhile, this dude over here with an Obsidian M4. This is the kind of stuff you have to deal with. Now, you guys already know what I've been doing this entire time. An update on life. I'll do like a little sit down and talk kind of thing. I don't have that much, you know, crazy stuff going on. Like everybody's like sitting there, like I'll have some people every once in a while ask like, oh man, I miss when you would tell some stories and all this other stuff. Right now, life is pretty uneventful as far as like my actual own private life. Like it is very, very straightforward and simple. I do this all day. I got like my house, my dogs, my loving girlfriend. I eat some good food. That's it. That's it. I'm not going outside. There's no drama. I'm not traveling. I'm not getting sick. Anytime that I do step outdoors, I gotta, you know, as far as telling stories and stuff like that, yeah, if I have one, I'll definitely tell one. But the biggest thing that happened to me over the weekend, I got to sleep a little bit more, and I can't wait for UFC 4. All right, honestly, forget about all of that. The new sniper rifle is dropping tomorrow. I'm gonna end up waking up in the middle of the night. Expect a pretty early video, likely.